Right. All right, can we do this? Can we do this? Can we do this? Yeah, we can.
He's not fake news like CNN or MSNBC. My fellow Americans, I come to you to make sure you remember to watch Freedom Friday by my man, Tim Black. He's so great, so fantastic. Top-notch guy. Everybody's talking about it. He gives you the hard truth and nothing but the truth. So help him God. He's a fantastic guy. He's not fake news like CNN or MSNBC.
You heard it, man. You heard that. He's not fake news. I'm not fake news. Really good guy. I want to thank Brian. Brian's a really good guy. Really good guy. He put that together for me. And listen. He's an exceptional human being. All right, give it up for Brian for giving me that. And I want to welcome everybody to the Tim Black at Night Show, Tuesday edition. Give it up for yourselves. All right, folks, so look. We got a lot to get to tonight, and I'm glad that you're joining me for it because if you watch mainstream media, corporate media, you will be misled. A lot of these stories that are out there right now need to have independent media's eye on the ball and able to dispel all the BS. So let's get right into that, my people. All right, so I'm just going to plow in. We got what's going on with Saudi Arabia. That's on top. We got Stacey Abrams made a statement on I think it was MSNBC about the election there in Georgia. We're also going to talk about Ivanka Trump and in the email issue regarding email files on her smart device. Okay? Got to get to that. A couple other light stories here. The race in Mississippi, I want to get you an update on that. Nancy Pelosi and a power play Nancy Pelosi made to thwart the Never Nancy movement. We got that, update for that. And like I said, we just got a lot going on. So first, let's start here, guys. Let's start with Donald Trump. And there's talk that Donald Trump may have done something that could get him impeached. Have you heard this? All right, check it out. All right. Okay, so here goes the scenario, folks. There was an article put out today by the New York Times. This is a bombshell article. That's how it's being reported. Because in this article, it lays out claims that Donald Trump abuses power or attempted to abuse his power to prosecute Hillary Clinton and James Comey. Both one a political rival, the other a rival. Or I don't know, someone who did not carry out the wishes of Donald Trump. That's what the article alleges. Okay, so let's talk a little bit. Well, you know what? Let me run a clip first. I'll run the clip first to give you the breakdown as they discuss this bombshell article by the New York Times, and then we'll kind of unwrap it a little bit. How about that?
Now, what happened next is also important. Don McGahn, according to this New York Times report, refused and then went on to try to show Donald Trump in detail why this was not only a bad idea, but a potentially impeachably bad idea. He had his White House lawyers write this memo that you're looking at, basically, that is described in the Times, saying that if they went forward with this, the consequences would be damaging and, yes, would include, quote, possible impeachment. Now, that right there is a big deal. It is usually, of course, Donald Trump's critics and adversaries who are talking about his potential impeachment. We don't use the I word lightly on this show because impeachment is an extreme constitutional remedy. Now, we don't even know if Donald Trump read that memo, but we do know, according to the New York Times, that it was his own lawyers and his chief counsel, Don McGahn, saying, Mr. President, if you do this, you could be impeached. And that's not all. The Times reporting that Donald Trump would go on to continue to privately agitate for these investigations of Hillary Clinton, obviously his chief rival in politics, and James Comey, his former FBI director. Now, this news, I want to be clear with you, is a scale way beyond anything else we have seen in legal controversies with Donald Trump. And that's saying something. You may recall, of course, that he did attempt to get Bob Mueller fired. Now, that was wrong. It may not have been lawful. That's something under debate. But there is a debate to be had there because the commander-in-chief has such big powers over his agencies like the DOJ. Tonight, I want to tell you, before we get to our guests, and we have some great guests on this, this is a different category than even the removal of Special Counsel Mueller. This is a report tonight, for the first time, that the President of the United States actively and explicitly tried to prosecute Hillary Clinton, a political opponent, and James Comey, the key witness, of course, in the obstruction probe. That request, if it happened, that order, if it was given, is blatantly unconstitutional, which is why, of course, Trump's own lawyers, according to this report, warned him that it was not only unlawful, but impeachable. Now, James Comey is, of course, at the center of the Russia probe. Trump fired him and then linked him and that firing to the probe. And we know now, tonight, for the first time, also was trying to prosecute him. This reporting is right in Bob Mueller's strike zone, which we're going to get into with our experts tonight, because he can investigate this new account that Donald Trump was trying to fire that man that he once embraced, James Comey, and then get him prosecuted. And prosecuting Hillary Clinton, that is all potential grounds for obstruction of justice.
Okay, so let's hold it right there, guys. Let's hold it right there and kind of pick up from there, because that's what it's all about, right? The impeachment of Donald Trump, and if that's a possibility. Now, if Donald Trump, first, before we do this, I just want to say that I believe that a lot of this is smoke and mirrors. A lot of it is overblown. Because before I even go into what they're saying Donald Trump did, he didn't actually do it. He didn't actually prosecute James Comey. He didn't actually prosecute Hillary Clinton, did he? No. No, he was prosecuted. Hillary was prosecuted or tried under Obama, right? Right? Isn't that what happened? That's got nothing to do with if you like Trump or don't like Trump. Those are just facts. Those are just numbers. Hillary Clinton has not seen the inside of a courtroom since Donald Trump's been in office. So basically, what we're talking about are thoughts, words, things that may or may not have been said. That's why I say it's not as serious as they make it out to be. And they want, they want to sell newspapers. They want to sell clicks. What did he actually do? Did anything that he actually did he actually execute on any of these things that you said he tried to do? He tried to rob the bank. But did he rob the bank? No, he didn't. Did he go in the bank with the gun? And he thought of it. He said to someone, maybe somebody should go in there with a gun. Oh, okay. He had a conspiracy to do something, and he's contesting that. How do you even prove that? I'm not even sure. I'm not sure how you prove it. Okay? Now, let's talk about Donald McGahn. McGahn II was a lawyer for Donald Trump. Okay? This is why it's important. He was Donald Trump's counsel in the White House. Listen. President Trump told the White House counsel in the spring that he wanted to order the Justice Department to prosecute two of his political adversaries, Hillary Clinton and James Comey. That's according to two people familiar with the conversation. One of those people familiar with the conversation, lawyer Donald F. McGahn, rebuffed the president, saying that he had no authority to order prosecution. Mr. McGahn said that while he could request an investigation, that too could prompt accusations of abuse of power. To underscore his point, McGahn then sent a memo. Or he had lawyers write a memo. Didn't say he wrote it. Had lawyers write a memo for Mr. Trump warning that if he asked law enforcement to investigate his rivals, there could be a range of consequences, including impeachment or grounds for impeachment. Okay, so there's a lot more here in this article. This is the New York Times article that I'm reading. You can go check this out on the New York Times website. Mr. McGahn went on to say that he would not comment on the legal advice that he gave the president because the president is afforded confidentiality like any other client. But he would point out, though, that the president never, to his knowledge, ordered that anyone prosecute Hillary Clinton or James Comey. So it's a contradiction right in the article that's supposed to be the bombshell to bring down Donald Trump. Right in the very article, I'm only on the first page. I'm only on what? Paragraph 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I'm on the sixth paragraph. The bombshell that this new information is contradicted by his lawyer, who you said is the one who confirms that this took place. He said he was never ordered. I repeat, he said Mr. McGahn will not comment on his legal advice to the president. The president is entitled to confidentiality. Mr. McGahn will point out, though, that the president never, to his knowledge, ordered that anyone prosecute Hillary Clinton or James Comey. He never ordered it. That's why I'm saying, guys, to me, it just seems like a bunch of way to rile up everyone, get everyone excited, a way to make money, a way to get clicks and views. And okay, let's say there's some people out there who really, really are sincere. Is it misplaced sincerity? Is it a fool's errand? While people are on these emotional roller coasters, meaning us regular folks who have to listen to this stuff every day, us regular working stiffs, people just trying to make it, get by, take care of the kids, feed the doggy, all the regular things that Americans have to do, us working folks, working class people have to do. When we get to hear this every day, every other day, something about the world being upside down. If it ain't a wildfire, it's climate change. If it ain't climate change, it's deranged Trump. If it's not deranged Trump, it's some immigration issue. It's a caravan, a rapist or something. Like all these blown up images. It's children being separated and stripped from their parents. It's a mass shooting. Like every day it's something new. Some of it true. Some of it fabricated for effect. So as we try to decipher what's true and what's fabricated, let's really, for once, let's sit down. Let's talk about what will get you impeached and what won't get you impeached. Maybe it's easier to say what won't get you impeached. Damn near nothing will get you impeached is what I'm trying to tell you. Nothing, almost nothing will get a president impeached. Nothing's going to make a president serve any time, first of all. That's the first claim. Nothing will get a president locked up. Okay? That statement that Donald Trump made about shooting somebody in the middle of the street, broad daylight, people would still vote for him. Well, he would definitely not go to jail because he's president. You can't charge a president, so that ain't gonna happen. I know some people hoping that. Lock him up. That ain't gonna happen. Okay? It's not gonna happen. Has anyone on MSNBC or CNN even said that? Like, look right in the camera. Don Lemon, has he ever looked at the camera and just told you straight up, "Lo, I know how you feeling. I know we've been pumping you full of this hormone of Donald Trump being locked up, but you know what? I'm sorry, dog." Like Randy would say from American Idol, "I'm sorry, dog. I'm not feeling it, dog. Just not feeling it, dog. I'm sorry, dog. Dog, dog, that's a no from me, dog. You know, Randy always looked like he was really sad to break your damn heart. Well, at least Don Lemon and Rachel Maddow, at least these people could actually look and be sincere with you. But millions of dollars to change sincerity. See, Donald Trump cannot be jailed. Okay? But okay. Let's talk about impeachment and removal. Because now we're talking about getting pushed out of office, right? Okay. There are two steps in taking a high government official, such as a president or a judge, from his position. It's typically used in cases of malfeasance, and also recall elections. Election is deemed to be not a real election. We could pull them. Malfeasance. High crimes, misdemeanors. High crimes, misdemeanors. The first step is impeachment. It's a formal accusation by a simple majority of the House of Representatives. This was not even a conversation that could be had prior to November 6th. Okay? All that talk before then was nothing. It was all hypothetical. For 2 years, it's been a hypothetical conversation because the Democrats did not have enough power, enough muscle in the House, a majority in the House, that even if every Democrat voted, they couldn't get an impeachment on Donald Trump. Okay? Now the conversation should begin. Because now is the only way this is even possible. But you know, they have to keep hope alive. Keep hope alive, y'all. The vote leaves the accused in office while he's tried by the Senate. A 2/3 majority there results in removal from office. So the House would have to, as a majority, say, we want to impeach this mofo on these grounds. The Senate would then have to look at it and say, yeah. And they would have to vote and come up with a 2/3 to do it. Now, we all know that the Republicans hold the Senate. A sizable amount of Republicans would have to vote along with the Democrats in the Senate in order to impeach Donald Trump. What is the likelihood of that even happening? What's the likelihood of step one? You don't believe that there are some Democrats? You don't think there's some Democrats in red states who would like to remain in red states? You don't think there's some people that would like to remain employed, would like to retain their offices, that are hanging? I know for a fact there are at least, I can think of one right in the top of my head right now. The one in West Virginia. What's his name? God, I can't think of his name. McCain, this Buster. There are a number of senators. It'll come to me. That's bad. I can't think of his name. He's right there. I know somebody in my chat's got it. Somebody's in my chat's got this guy, right? Somebody. Who in my chat has this guy? Joe Manchin. Give it up for that. Who said that? A dingo ate my baby said it. So there are a number of Democrats who wouldn't vote for it either. Forget the Republicans. There are Democrats who wouldn't vote for it. That's the Senate, okay? That's the Senate. So you'd have to get all this, you have to get every Democratic senator to vote for it. I could think of, like I just stated, I could think of some Republican senators who wouldn't vote for it. Or some Democratic senators who wouldn't vote for it. Obviously, there are a lot of Republican senators. I don't see how it happens, guys. I just don't. Okay, but let's talk about the times it did happen. Okay, because that's only fair. Hey, like I tell you, I'm not here to defend anyone. We're just speaking the truth. I'm tired of people being scared or being, I'm not saying you're really scared. I'm tired of people trying to scare you. I'm tired of people lying to you. I'm tired of people over exaggerating. It's an exaggeration. This is exaggerating, all right? That's what they're doing, and I'm tired of them doing it. And I think it's time for us to call their card. Okay, there's a couple times in American history where a president has been impeached. Andrew Johnson, he was the 17th president. And William Clinton, 42nd president. Now, we all know about William Clinton. We both know what happened, right? But here's the deal. Clinton never left office. In fact, he served 2 terms, didn't he? Oh yeah, he did, Tim Black. Yeah, he did. Okay, so how afraid really are people of this? There's even rumors that Donald Trump won't even run for a second term. That Donald Trump is as surprised as everyone else that he became president. And he has really no interest, he had no real interest in being president other than showing up the Clintons. And when they started to bring out these women, and they brought out that tape, you know, the tape of him grab him by the punani, that tape, well, that's when he really got pissed off and said, you know what, I'm going to win this thing. I'm going to embarrass everyone. I'm going to bring them all down. And they really has no interest in being a two-term president. He was already going to be known for years beyond his death. Already going down in the history books. Notable figure. Now he's a president. I'm not telling you what's going to happen. I don't know what's going to happen. All I'm telling you, based on what we see. See, there are people with a vested interest in keeping your attention glued on a impossibility, in my opinion. It's such a freak thing, right? It's like getting struck by lightning. You can't prepare for getting struck by lightning. I mean, it's possible you can get struck by lightning, though. I mean, you know what I'm saying? But that's like, and even the actual striking of lightning in this case would be Donald Trump being impeached. It wouldn't even mean Donald Trump is being removed from office. All right, so give it up for that. I'm going to leave that there. Did Donald Trump want to remove Comey? Did he want to prosecute Comey and Hillary Clinton? That remains to be seen. I don't know. We shall find out. There's obstruction. Oh, I guess there's a couple points we can make, guys. Tim Black's Wolfpack, there's obstruction and then there's abuse of power. Obstruction. See, it's really not about the Russian. Did Trump actually seek aid from the Russians in order to win an election? Did he seek Russian interference? That's not even a question. What they're trying to get him on is while they were looking to see if Trump, worked with Russians, did he try to slow him down? Did he try to stop the investigation? Not did he actually do the thing that they accuse him of, but did he try to stop them from looking at him for doing the thing? Okay, so that's where they're at. And now they're at, well, when he got in office, him not being a political person and being petty as hell. Donald Trump is a very petty human being. Did he abuse his power going after Hillary Clinton and James Comey or anyone else? And I do think that's probably true. He probably did abuse his power. Can you prove it? And at the end of the day, what will it mean? I can tell you one thing it'll mean. I can guarantee you what it'll mean. I guarantee if they proceed with it, it will mean millions and millions of dollars. Millions and millions of dollars spent. That's what I can definitely guarantee you. I can guarantee you I'm going to be black till I'm dead, and I can guarantee you if they go forward with this, that Donald Trump, this investigation will cost more, millions and millions and millions and millions and millions and millions of more dollars. That's what I can guarantee you. All right. It is what it is. All right, so let's stay on Trump, guys. There's so much other stuff, but we're going to stay with Trump with the Saudi Arabia. How about we do that? Let's stay with Saudi. Let's do that because this Saudi Arabia thing, it must be addressed. Khashoggi, a journalist, killed. Washington Post. Not a U.S. citizen, but a U.S. resident. He went to the embassy, the Turkey embassy, and he never left. Horrible. Horrible. The stories of what they say happened to this man in Istanbul would wish it on anyone. No one. Okay? Now where we are. I don't know why people are surprised at this, but Donald Trump has released a statement stating what he already alluded to that he would do, which was nothing. Nothing. Got too much money, in his opinion, tied up with Saudi Arabia to give a damn about what Saudi Arabia did or didn't do. But here goes a clip of people acting surprised that Donald Trump doesn't care about Saudi Arabia's activities in the killing of Khashoggi.
On the murder now, we don't have to say apparent murder, about Saudi Arabia, commenting on the sanctioning of 17 Saudi individuals last week, and also the report on the murder now, we don't have to say apparent murder, the murder of Jamal Khashoggi, the Saudi commentator. The president weighs in here on MBS, the Saudi crown prince himself, and whether or not he knew of the murder. The president says it could very well be that the crown prince had knowledge of this tragic event. Maybe he did, and maybe he didn't. The president begins this lengthy statement with America first with an exclamation point, and he says the world is a very dangerous place with another exclamation point. The president details here the business relationship, the ongoing economic and business relationship between Saudi Arabia and the United States, saying that after his trip to Saudi Arabia last year, the kingdom agreed to spend and invest $450 billion in the United States. The president calling it a record amount of money that would create hundreds of thousands of jobs, tremendous economic development, and much additional wealth for the United States. He does say that the crime against Jamal Khashoggi was a terrible one and one that our country does not condone. And then he says that although people in Saudi Arabia, government officials, say that Jamal Khashoggi was, quote, an enemy of the state, unquote, and a member of the Muslim Brotherhood, his decision is based on the fact that this is an unacceptable and horrible crime. So the president here managing to both sort of denounce the crime, denounce the murder, imply that the United States doesn't know and maybe will never know whether MBS authorized the murder himself personally, and then also stressing the important economic relationship between the United States and Saudi Arabia. The president saying that relationship will continue, that America's relationship is with the country of Saudi Arabia itself. Scott.
Of course, the only problem with that, Eamon, is that the CIA has concluded that Mohammed bin Salman ordered the murder of Mr. Khashoggi. Does the president not believe that?
The CIA assessment is that he was responsible for and would have had to have been responsible for it because of the audio recordings and other evidence that they've been able to gather using their intelligence networks. What the president here is saying, though, is maybe he did and maybe he didn't, and we'll never know. And the president sort of rhetorically anyway throwing up his hands and saying that ultimately we have to move on because the economic relationship between these two countries is so vitally important, and the political relationship in the Middle East more broadly.
Yeah.
You good here? Donald Trump, his statement makes it crystal clear that he has no intention at all of reacting in any way negatively that would impact the money arrangement with the Saudis because of Khashoggi. You know, Busta Rhymes, the great Busta Rhymes, put out an album back in 2009. It's called Arab Money. And though the Arab or Arab Money song may be controversial because of the use of the term Arab, one thing is for certain, there is a lot of money in Saudi Arabia. And Trump and the U.S. want to get the Arab money. They want to get the money. Get it? The money. You know, we got these senators, these Republican senators acting like they all shocked. They're feigning outrage. Like, oh my God. Oh no. I can't believe Trump is going to do business with Saudi Arabia. Oh no. But when those jobs come through, they're going to be so happy them damn jobs came through. They ain't going to look the other way like they've been looking the other way. They ain't seen nothing. Listen, guys. It's disgusting, right? It's disgusting what happened to Khashoggi. That is not up for debate. What you and I would do, like, would you do business with somebody who kills people for a living? Let's hope that your answer is no. Because you don't trust them. And they might kill you or a friend, and you just do not co-sign their villainous acts. Let's hope that's how you roll in your life, right? You don't be kicking it with killers. in rapists or whatever, pedophiles, anything of that nature. And if you knew, you'd be like, hey, at the very least, I might not come get you, but I can't roll with you, partner. Let's hope that's you. Okay? That's me. Let's hope it's you too. Okay. So let's take that off the table. Let's just talk about reality, man. We got these senators. I never thought the day I'd see the White House would moonlight as a public relations firm for the Crown Prince of Saudi Arabia. Senator Bob Corker said on Twitter. Bob, what the hell you think we've been doing, Bob? Huh, Bob? What do you think we've been up to, Bob, all this time, Bob? You think that Saudi Arabia just started killing people since Trump got into office? Like Khashoggi was the first person they killed, yo? And stop acting like you're overly concerned, Bob. Your bullshit is showing, Bob. Next, the bipartisan leadership of Senate Foreign Relations Committee is demanding a definitive determination from Trump about whether Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman ordered the killing of journalist Jamal Khashoggi. Look, man, we've already already came to that conclusion. There's nothing else to investigate. Your CIA has already said, yeah, we did. It's already been accepted as reality, okay? The thing is, we don't intend to do shit about it that would impact our money. Next. In a letter to Trump panels, Chairman Senator Bob Corker and Ranking Member Senator Bob Menendez, Democrat out of New Jersey, asked on Tuesday whether the administration believed that bin Salman was involved in the murder of Khashoggi. It just keeps going on. Yeah, they know look, Trump knows. Everyone believes that MBS, that's his short, Mohammed bin Salman, knew about the murder. Some would even say he ordered it. The thing is, America's not interested in messing up any money, any business dealings with Saudi Arabia behind Khashoggi or behind anyone else. And listen, it is against all respect for the American people, for any commentator, and I do mean any commentator, I don't care what their ideology is, to sit in front of you and deny the fact that the Saudi government has been a human rights violator to the 10th degree for many years. And we continue to do business with them. We continue to look the other way. We have done the equivalent of watching an abusive partner, a man, beat the hell out of his wife, and we just sat there and watched. It's disgusting. That's what we've been doing. That's not what you and I have been doing. We good people. Remember, we wouldn't roll with murderers, rapists, killers. We wouldn't want to have a relationship with them. But America has been doing that. That's the reality of Saudi Arabia. Here we go. The Saudi Arabia human rights record raises number of beheadings by 70%. Lack of basic freedoms for women and girls. Everyone already knows this. What, you think that Tim Black has somehow uncovered information that was hidden and now I'm disclosing it? And right now I'm in a bunker somewhere hiding from the CIA? No, mofo. This is regular information. Everyone in Congress knows it. Most scholars know it. Most journalists know it. They just choose not to tell you that Saudi Arabia has been a human rights violator, not just this one human, Khashoggi, but human rights violator. And when Hillary and all these other Democrats and females talk about how they need to treat women better, they could start by not doing business with Saudi Arabia. There's a lot of women in Saudi Arabia with no rights. And we do business with them every day like it don't matter. Would you sell to an abusive spouse? Would you sell to a pedophile if you came into your store? Now, there's some people out here, devout Christians. You don't want to sell the gay cake. You don't want to sell the gay cake, the gay marriage cake, because you know it's going to a gay wedding. You don't have to go perform the wedding. No one's invited you to the wedding, but you don't want to sell them the gay cake. Your government not only is selling the gay cake, they make the gay cake, they sell the gay cake, and they feed them the gay slices with a picture of gay sex on top of the cake. That's the equivalent of how we do with Saudi Arabia. Okay? That is the equivalent. It's even worse than that. Man, we know what they do is published. They have increased the amount of beheadings. They kill people for shit like believing that you are involved in witchcraft. They kill you if you're gay. Women have virtually no rights. And we do business with them like nothing happened. And Donald Trump is telling you, so what Donald Trump, as much as they want to be say Donald Trump's despicable, that Donald Trump's disgusting, he has no self-respect, where's the integrity? It was the same way under Obama. Same way under Obama. Same way under Bush. I venture to guess. Same way under Bush. Oh, did I do that? Yes, you did that, America. We've been doing that. We ain't gonna stop doing it. And that's all Trump is saying. And I'm not saying it's right. I am not saying it's right. But the fake outrage gotta stop, man. Come on, man. What are we, teenagers? Come on, man. Blaming the weed smell on our friends when we smoke it? No, Ma, that wasn't me. That my friend smoked the weed. I was just with him, and somehow that he must have smoked it and blew it at me, because I would never ever smoke weed. Knowing you was right there, just hitting it. Thinking of a lie to tell your mom when you get home. Yeah. I'm gonna blame this on my boy. That's America right now with Saudi Arabia. Let's move on. Gotta move on, man. Gotta move on, Tim Black. We gotta move on. All right, so if you missed my No Sellout show, but guys, remember, you can always go to YouTube. You'll find a clip I just put out about, what was it about? It's a clip from the show. I do great clips. I got clips. I got the whole show, but I also have the clips available on my YouTube channel. See, here's the thing about TBTV, Tim Black TV, TTL Media. We are not controlled by any political organization. A lot of the political content that you see, that you think, oh, this is cool, these people telling me the truth, they controlled by somebody. So there's stuff they won't tell you because they don't want you to know. That's not the issue here when you come to Tim Black TV. TBTV, no one's pulling any strings. If you have ideas for content suggestions, you can send them to my attention. And if you become a Patreon member at the silver or gold level, you become basically an assistant producer. So hit me up at patreon.com, Tim's Take Live. We do media right. All right, guys.
Trump's own lawyers warning him not only the investigation request was unlawful, but again, I want to read from this report.
Get that out of here. Get that out of here. Okay. I'll be ready for Pelosi. Let's go to Pelosi, guys.
House. Am I wrong about that?
You're absolutely correct, Joy. First of all, African-American women have been the most loyal and consistent voters in the Democratic Party.
If she declares, I think that it's going to give a lot of members reason to pause and reevaluate their decisions. And I'm not saying 100% of people would.
Okay, let's stop that right there. That's a clip. That's a clip that I want to share with you. But before we do that, before we get to that, let's set it up just a little bit for anybody who's been so busy with regular life that they're unable to keep up with this stuff. Okay, so Nancy Pelosi, she's been the House Speaker before. What was it, 2000, I don't know how long she was doing it, but she was House Speaker. She lost the House Speakership when the Democrats lost the majority. This happened under Obama. What was it, 2012? 2014? 2012, right? 2010. When did she lose it? Anyway, she's been House Speaker before, and now she wants to be House Speaker again. Here's the thing. There are people that don't want her to be the House Speaker. They want to change what the Democrats are doing, and they think it's time for some movements. Okay, and there's been some people that are saying that, hey, we got a couple people that might run. Now, some people are saying Barbara Lee should run. That doesn't look like it's going to happen. Here goes the clip with Barbara Lee having a conversation with Joanne Reed last Sunday on the A.M. Joy show about Barbara running or Miss Lee running, and here's some of the ideas about it.
Leave Nancy Pelosi overnight, but I am saying that a declared Marcia Fudge candidacy is a lot different than a contemplated Marcia Fudge candidacy. And I think people around the country would be surprised about how many people would actually decommit and commit for Marcia.
Hold on. Barbara Lee was smart enough not to even put her hat in the ring on this. Okay, Barbara Lee did not put her hat in the ring on this. There are people saying that Barbara Lee should do this, but I'm sorry, Marcia Fudge. This clip is about Marcia Fudge. Now, Marcia Fudge, representative, she said she was interested in running. She was considering running. There was a lot of talk about Marcia Fudge running, that this would be new blood, this would be a change. Black women have given so much to the Democratic Party. They're the most loyal voter of the Democratic Party, black women. Why aren't they in more positions of leadership for black women? So that's what was being brought up here. This conversation between Joy Reid and Barbara Lee was about Marcia Fudge and was about Nancy Pelosi and the Democratic trajectory and black women in the Democratic Party getting their just due. So let's go to that. All right. And this gentleman here is speaking about that. Okay. All right.
Congresswoman Marcia Fudge's potential run for House Speaker may be dividing some members of the Congressional Black Caucus, even though prominent members like Congressman John Lewis are throwing their support behind current Democratic leader Nancy Pelosi. However, Pelosi is unfazed.
I have overwhelming support in my caucus to be Speaker of the House, and certainly we have many, many people in our caucus who could serve in this capacity. I happen to think that at this point, I'm the best person for that.
Still, House Speaker is not the only position up for grabs. There are 6 other leadership positions, including Democratic Caucus Chair. And Congresswoman Fudge is not wrong when she says that black women, as the Democratic Party's most loyal voters, have not exactly seen the fruits of that loyalty borne out in actual power within the party leadership. And joining me now, one of 2 people running for Democratic Caucus Chair, California Congresswoman Barbara Lee. Congresswoman, good morning.
Good morning. Happy to be with you, Joy.
Thank you so much. And as you are in California, I want to just check in on your district and check in on whether the fires are impacting your constituents.
Yes, first, Joy, the fire is about 150 miles away, and our thoughts and prayers are with the community and with the families and victims. This is horrific, and my district is working every day to make sure that the resources are there for the victims and families.
So basically, Barbara Lee, she's like, look, yeah, there's a lot of fires going here. It's very dangerous. It'll also be very dangerous to try to run against Nancy Pelosi because Nancy Pelosi puts a lot of money in the Democratic Party, so there's no way I'm going to go up against that. I want to retain my seat and not be burnt messing with Nancy. Nancy's very powerful, and I'm not looking to get scolded out here. 3rd-degree burns don't look good on me. So y'all can keep all that talk. Let's talk about Marcia Fudge and what she's trying to do. But I know what I'm not going to do. I know I'm going to fight to retain my seat and retain the power that I have, and maybe I'll just outlive Nancy or something.
But also, as an appropriator, I'm going to do everything I can do to make sure.
Level of Speaker of the House. At the moment, none of those top leadership positions is occupied by an African-American woman. And I don't think that there has been a black woman in the top leadership of the House. Am I wrong about that?
You're absolutely correct, Joy. First of all, African-American women have been the most loyal and consistent voters in the Democratic Party, and we've really, in many communities, in many ways, have propelled.
All right, look, man, I can't in good conscience make you guys sit through this. I just can't do it. We already know what's going to be said. Here's the deal. I want to get to what happened today. Barbara Lee, she's not going to run. She's not interested in running. She's not going to do that. Okay? That's just the deal. Okay? And here goes one of the reasons why. Marcia Fudge Her whole thing running, people were talking about it. It was a buzz. Nancy movement. There was a petition of 12 Democrats who signed it saying that they wanted Nancy Pelosi to move out the way. Move, Pelosi. Get out the way. Get out the way. Get out the way. Move, Pelosi. Get out the way. Get out the way. Well, all that came to a screeching halt today when something was discovered. House Democrat leader crushed an intra-Democrat vote against her bid to take the Speaker's gavel after a 2015 letter from Fudge backing a disgraced former Cleveland judge who was convicted of brutally beating his wife resurfaced in the wake of the man's alleged murder of her. So, what happened was Marcia Fudge, she signed a letter along with more than a dozen other Democrats pleading to vote against Pelosi on the floor of the House of Representatives in January. What they discovered today, which they had already known about, and if she knew about this, I don't even know what Marcia Fudge was talking about. This is not the time to be co-signing a killer of a woman that you co-signed. A man kills a woman that you co-signed back in 2015. This is horrible. Like, did you know, Marcia, that he killed her? Did you know about that? Because, like, why would you raise your profile knowing this situation? So I'm assuming Ms. Fudge had no idea that this had popped up, no idea that this judge had ended up killing his wife that she had vouched for, which is a horrible thing. I'm not suggesting that Ms. Fudge vouched for this judge. Fudge vouched for a judge who had a grudge and gave his wife a deadly nudge. See, it says here that the judge that Fudge vouched for, he was convicted of hitting his wife 20 times, and then smashed her head into the dashboard of their car while their children watched from the back seat. Fudge's letter backing his character sent to the prosecutor in Cuyahoga County said Mason's behavior, that was his name, Judge Lance Mason, toward his wife Aisha Frazier during that assault was out of character and totally contrary to everything she knew about it. Fudge went on to write that Mason accepts full responsibility for his actions and has assured me that something like this will never happen again. So, I don't know if vouch is the right word for it, other than she believed this man. She believed he was a good guy. She believed that he had a moment of, I don't know what happened, why he did this. And she felt like, hey, look, he won't do it again. But he not only did it again, he did worse. Does that make Marcia Fudge a bad person? Probably not. I will not sit here and assume that she co-signed someone she thought was even capable of killing his wife, of murder, okay? But optically, for some reason, they think Nancy Pelosi, who often sides with corporations, I think at the expense of lives on a daily basis. But it's so sanitized, you know. She does it via policy. See, Nancy Pelosi kills people, but she does it via siding with Republicans, or does it siding with corporations, or does it siding with Democratic Party corporatists that are against the interests of the people. You know, like when they don't do a deal to lower the cost of prescriptions. That kills people. But see, it's indirect. It's not the type of killing that would elicit a visceral response from people watching. You know, like, so what Marcia Fudge did was she was fooled by one guy who she worked with, that she'd known for, 20 years, who was a judge. She was fooled into thinking he wasn't a bad guy, that he had a momentary lapse of judgment and he snapped and he got emotional and he did something crazy. And she knew he was going to be punished for it. She just didn't think he needed to be punished for the rest of his life. But on the other hand, folks like Nancy Pelosi, because she's not alone in this, but folks like Nancy Pelosi, they do things like deny us prescription drugs, lower prescription prices so that people can afford their medications. People die every day because of lack of health care, lack of medications, lack of taking the proper dosage because they can't afford it. And Nancy Pelosi and those people sleep just fine. And it's like I said, it's not just Nancy Pelosi. But do you see my point? That Marcia Fudge can't run for the House speakership because it's proven that she made a mistake. How many mistakes have these corporate Democrats made? I would say not many, because I don't believe they made mistakes. I think they made judgment calls. I think they made choices. I think they make what's in the best interest of themselves and their futures in the Democratic Party coffers. How much money they can sock away. Because let's face it, that's really what people talk about Nancy. Nancy Pelosi, prolific fundraiser. That's really the deal. Look, I don't know Marcia Fudge. I have no reason to carry water for her. None at all. I think the Democratic Party needs to be shaken up, spun around. Some people fall down and some new people come around. That's what I believe. But, you know, when you got people that are entrenched like Nancy Pelosi, it's going to take a lot more. Maybe it'll take a scandal of Nancy Pelosi actually being brought up on murder charges. I don't know. It is what it is. All right, guys. I tell you. Let's go to this.
To make sure you remember to watch Freedom Friday by my man, Tim Black. He's so great, so fantastic, top-notch guy. Everybody's talking about it. He gives you the hard truth and nothing but the truth, so help him God. He's a fantastic guy. He's not fake news like CNN or MSNBC.
All right. So I'm pretty sure everybody watching knows about Georgia. Right? We're good. Everybody knows about Georgia, right? Yes. Stacey Abrams was set to be, well, the hopes of the Democratic Party and the hopes of a lot of people in Georgia were that Stacey Abrams would have become the first black woman elected governor in the United States. To some people, that's a big deal. Didn't happen because Brian Kemp won. But Stacey Abrams, along this process, has stated that there was voter suppression in Georgia that thwarted her ability to win that race. So much so that she did not concede. She wouldn't state publicly that Brian Kemp won it, and they wanted to take it and look at all the votes again and make sure that this thing was done correctly. And still, even after agreeing that Brian Kemp appears to have more votes, she still has not fully conceded. Well, here is Stacey Abrams, Georgia gubernatorial candidate, talking about Brian Kemp, Georgia, and elections. Right here.
To run in 2020 or beyond, but I cannot concede that. But my assessment is the law currently allows no further viable remedy.
Stacey Abrams became a star for the Democratic Party amid her historic run to become governor of Georgia. She ended her campaign on Friday on a pointed note, is now pledging to continue litigation to reform the state's voting procedures. Joining me now is Stacey Abrams, 2018 Democratic gubernatorial candidate from Georgia. Tell me a little bit about how you came to the conclusion to make that speech with that language and not concede.
So we spent a great deal of time thinking through what the legal remedies could be, in part because we'd already filed 4 successful lawsuits in the 10-day period between Election Day and that Friday. 4 successful opportunities to prove that the elections had been mismanaged. And as I thought through what would be next, we were considering a contest, essentially saying that once the election was certified, we would challenge the veracity of that decision. But looking at the law, looking at our claim, I realized that it wouldn't be appropriate to fight in that way, because then it becomes about me. And there was a larger conversation to be had, which was about the erosion of democracy in Georgia. The machinery had broken. People were being denied access to the right to vote across the state, across parties, across region, and that was wrong. And so my speech was really grounded in, one, acknowledging that there had to be finality to the election, but also recognizing that there could not be a final answer to whether or not we were going to fix democracy in Georgia, that had to be my next fight.
Was the election in Georgia statewide a free and fair election?
It was not a free and fair election. We had thousands of Georgians who were purged from the rolls wrongly, including a 92-year-old woman who had voted in the same area since 1968, a civil rights leader. It was not fair to the thousands who were forced to wait in long lines because they were in polling places that were under-resourced. Or worse, they had no polling places to go to because more than 300 had been closed. It was not fair to the thousands that were put on hold with their registrations. And it was not fair to those who filled out absentee ballots, and depending on the county you sent it to, it either was counted or not counted, assuming you received it in time. Brian Kemp oversaw for 8 years the systematic and systemic dismantling of our democracy, and that means there could not be free and fair elections in Georgia this year. I
want to get your response to this. This is, I think, Rick Hasson, who's an election law expert, writer, legal academic, wrote this piece for Slate. He said Democrats should not call the Georgia governor's race stolen, and basically making the argument that that rhetoric further erodes sort of Democratic legitimacy. I wonder what you thought about that.
I appreciate the professor's thinking, but coming from the vantage point of talking to thousands of voters who feel like their votes were not counted, their voices were not heard, they've already had their confidence eroded. They've already begun to doubt the integrity of the system. We have a Republican who is getting a do-over election on December 4th because they forgot to put people in his districts that were drawn in 2011 and updated in 2015. He had to take out plat maps and single-handedly find all of the missing voters and then take the state to court to get a new election. That means that this isn't about partisanship, but it's also not about rhetoric. It's about the reality of people being denied their basic right to vote in the United States.
Okay, so, all right, guys, so yes, Stacey Abrams has some valid points here about Georgia elections. I think those same valid points could be made about many states across the country, many districts across the country where people were pushed off voting rolls. But I also believe it should be stated about not only the general elections for governorships, but also about primaries. Primaries in both parties. But I know for a fact in the Democratic Party that we had irregularities, antiquated equipment, no way to track it. Hell, we talked about Florida, we talked about Nevada, we talked about Arizona, we talked about New York. I'm leaving out so many places. I don't want to piss nobody off because I know there are a lot of you who experienced it, who saw it, who know it. So I'm not going to discredit that, yes, there is some validity. How much validity to her claims? I don't know. Does it make any sense, guys? Does it make any sense that Brian Kemp, who's now the governor of Georgia, does it make any sense that he was Secretary of State, was able to oversee the election process while he was running for governor? Does that make sense to you? Would you be okay with, I don't know, say you're a Redskins fan, or let's say you're a Cowboys fan, and let's say the Redskins get to make the final calls in the Super Bowl that you're both playing in. Would you be okay with that? See, I know you wouldn't be okay with it because you're not stupid. You'd say that doesn't make sense. And I'd say, well, hey, you don't know if we're cheating. You'll say, it looks like you could be cheating. How are we going to trust you? And that's all that, well, that to me is enough to say it makes no damn sense for Brian Kemp, Secretary of State, and he's running for governor. He should not have any at all influence. And don't tell me he stopped being Secretary of State a week before the election. Come on, man. Come on, buddy. If he knew he was going to run, he should have stopped 2 years ago, a year ago. It's got to be something, some type of rule. That being said, also, something a lot of my friends don't realize is that Stacey Abrams has a sister, and her sister's a judge who was appointed by Obama, and she got to help rule against Brian Kemp's numbers being certified. So, yeah. Stacey Abrams' sister is a federal judge appointed by Obama in the state of Georgia, and she got to decide if it would be approved, like if it was going to be credited or if we were going to have another look at these elections. So it's just bad. I didn't know that till today. Shout out to Charlie Baltimore with an article. I think Charlie Baltimore hit me up on an article about that. Charlie Peach. Y'all know Charlie Peach, right? All right. So there's a lot going on with Stacey Abrams, and there's a lot going on in Georgia, but there's a lot going across the country regarding election integrity. All right, so we got to get serious about it. America needs to be serious about it. I don't think America's ready to be serious about it. I don't think either party really wants to really look at our elections because, like I said, both parties are guilty of it. Election fraud. Both parties. It's not just about one person not getting an ID. And I know people talk about the claim about IDs and stuff. We had that conversation. I do believe that there are some people who don't have IDs. I think there's some seniors who may not have IDs. How big a problem that is, I'm not sure. Some people dismiss the ID situation altogether. Maybe they don't remember a time when they were, or maybe they've never been. Maybe they've never been financially really strapped where they couldn't afford an ID. I don't know. To just say everybody you know has one, you're not everybody. You don't know how people are living, okay? You don't know what people go through. You don't know what their situation is. You don't know what's normal for the rest of the world, the rest of the country. Hell, the rest of your city. Hell, half of you don't even know what's normal for the rest of the people on your block. You don't really know people like that. You know the people that you kick it with who are in your same social economic class. How many people do you really know? All right. And it's also just before we end on the Brian Kemp statement, on Brian Kemp in Georgia and Stacey Abrams. And I think this is important, guys. And when I put out the video, we got to put this in there. One of the reasons why Stacey Abrams lost this election had nothing to do with voter suppression. One reason why she lost it is such negative Trump focus. Yeah, the negative Trump focus really brought out the Trump voters. See, Stacey Abrams did a remarkable job of bringing out new voters. Remarkable. The only problem is the negative Trump shit that they were running constantly on MSNBC and CNN, well, it kept Trump supporters engaged. Yeah, typically Trump supporters or the incumbent or the president, who's ever in the office, their supporters go to sleep. That's because typically people stop talking about him. Yeah, every day they weren't talking about Obama. So back in 2012, Obama supporters went to sleep. They went night-night. See, that didn't happen with Trump supporters. Trump supporters stayed awake because every day CNN and MSNBC are making Trump front page news because it's good for business. That had an adverse effect on Stacey Abrams. And here goes the numbers to back it up. In the previous gubernatorial election, Republican Nathan Deal won with 1.3 million votes. Stacey Abrams lost and she had 1.9 million votes. Get it? Yeah. 600,000 more votes than the winner of the previous governor race. So I believe those people, they came out to vote for Kemp. I think those people were energized by all the negative attention to Donald Trump and Donald Trump's mastery of getting that attention as well. All right. Also, 538, 55% of eligible Georgians voted, a whopping 21-point increase over 82 to 2014's midterm elections. Let me repeat that. 55% of Georgians voted. That is historical. Hasn't been even close to being matched since 1982. So Stacey Abrams did a thing. So did corporate media. All right. Now, one more. Two more. These are going to be kind of quick. Okay, so we got Ivanka Trump. Let's talk about Ivanka Trump's emails, guys. I want to have that conversation. Let's talk about Ivanka Trump's email. All right, so you know all the talk about Hillary Clinton's emails. As you may know, I talked about it some, and I had a person I used to do shows with by the name of H.A. Goodman, and he never met a Hillary email conversation he didn't like. So, yeah, we're all very much familiar with the Hillary emails, the Hillary email scandal. And we know Donald Trump, he pounded on that. It's like, hey, about you and your emails. In fact, part of the conversation about Donald Trump prosecuting Hillary Clinton has to do with emails from a debate where Donald Trump said, if I win the presidency, you'll be in jail because I'm going to prosecute you. So anyway. Well, guess what? The White House defends Ivanka Trump's use of private email. Yeah, Ivanka Trump using private email. Listen, White House officials on Monday defended advisor Ivanka Trump's use of private email for government business since serving in President Donald Trump's administration. Okay? Now, here's the thing about this. Ivanka Trump used her private email, her personal, private email. The Washington Post broke the story on Monday evening, noting that Trump's daughter, serving as a senior advisor in the administration, sent hundreds of emails related to work on a private email address that she shared with her husband, Jared Kushner, also a Trump administration official. Now, their contention is that none of the emails that Ivanka sent were classified. While transitioning into government after she was given an official account, but until the White House provided her the same guidance they had given others who started before she did, Miss Trump sometimes used her personal account, almost always for logistics and scheduling concerning her family. Now, the news immediately drew comparisons to Hillary Clinton's private email server scandal and the use of a private email account, personal email server, while serving as Secretary of State. And they go into all of that. I'm not going to go into all of that. Sources close to Ivanka and people with knowledge of the incident told the Washington Post that she was unaware of the rules about using personal email addresses, despite her father repeatedly describing Clinton's use of a private email server. The hashtag lock her up trended on Twitter. Okay, so let me say this. So Ivanka has not made a statement about the incident. Here's the deal. Ivanka did not have a private email server in her office where she did business for the government. Ivanka, from her email account, personal email account, she may have sent some information, but she did not house a server where she stored classified information in her home. So what she did was wrong. Shouldn't have done it. Bad. But what Hillary Clinton did was much worse. Much, much worse. Okay? But as we learned from James Comey, neither of those things were punishable offenses. Right? So what are we really talking about? How can you really make an issue of it if you say what Hillary did was nothing and now Ivanka did something that wasn't even close to it and you're making an issue? You know, they tried this with somebody else. Was it McCain? No, was it Pence? I heard some talk about Pence in Indiana having some emails and something like this. Yeah, you know, I worked in government contracting before, guys. This happens. People use devices they shouldn't use. They be in government like, I want my email on my flip phone. I'm used to using my flip phone. Can I put my email on my damn flip phone? Why can't I put my email on my flip phone? Make it work, dumb computer nerd. Put it in there. And I was like, I don't know who you're talking to. I ain't no computer nerd. You need to get a nerd to do that shit. But, like, people try to break the rules all the time. Speaking of breaking rules, Mississippi has a runoff election between Cindy Hyde-Smith and Mark Espy. Cindy Hyde-Smith is a ridiculous candidate who made a joke about a public hanging, and a lot of people are offended by it because Mississippi is the capital of public hangings. a.k.a. lynchings. And some people say, she didn't mean lynchings, she meant public hangings. Well, they had lynchings in last lynching in Mississippi was like 1970. The last public hanging in Mississippi was 1802. Oh, I didn't know that. Well, now you know it. There's a big difference between, and why even go there? Why make that joke? It's just stupid. I can't prove she's racist, but I can prove that the people that laughed at that joke, little racist. Little racist. And to say that joke, don't give much of a damn about what people think about you. Also, I feel that she don't care that Mississippi, which has a very large black population, she don't care if people pissed off or not. She was like, look, I said it, I apologize, or I said it, I responded. I'm not talking about it no more. Get over it, darkies. Move on. Then she got the governor to weigh in. He backed her up. He started talking about... So anyway, that's the story of Mississippi. Here's the thing. Walmart gave money to her campaign, and Walmart said, we need to do a price roll back on that donation we gave you, Cindy, because you make us look bad. Yeah, Walmart wants their money back. They want they want their money back from her campaign. They don't want any parts of Cindy Hyde-Smith. They think she's bad for business. They think that what she said makes them look bad, and they personally don't want to deal with it. So, and they're not the only ones. There's a couple other organizations or businesses that did business or supported her that are no longer supporting her. Railroad giant Union Pacific and Boston Scientific, a medical service device manufacturer, also asked for their campaign donations to be returned. Wow. See what I'm saying? See what I'm saying? God don't like ugly. God do not like ugly. That's what that is. Now, this last story, it's about Facebook. You know how Facebook loves to jump on you if you make a post they don't like? How many of you have been locked out of Facebook? Put in Facebook jail? A lot of you, because a lot of you contacted me and said, Tim, they put me in Facebook jail, man. All I did is post this article from Truth Dig, or I post this article from exposehillary.com, or kick the Democrats in the nuts.net, you know? And now I can't even get into my account. They say I'm blocked for the next 72 hours, or I'm blocked for the next week, or whatever the hell. Well, you've just been doing it wrong. Because, see, there was a Facebook poster, a Facebook account, that sold a woman on Facebook. And they didn't shut that account down for 15 days. I know y'all think I'm joking. I'm not. Child bride auctioned on Facebook. And it took 15 days to shut down the post. 15 days. Facebook's come under fire for a barbaric use of its technology that allowed the sale of a child bride to be held on its website. An auction was held on the social media platform for a 16-year-old girl in South Sudan, which sought payment for her hand in marriage. Facebook said the post was taken down as soon as the company learned of it, but that wasn't until the girl was already sold. According to a child's rights organization, Plan International, the girl was bid on by 5 men, some of whom were reportedly high-ranking South Sudanese government officials. Activists are concerned that this auction, for which the father reportedly received 500 cows, 3 cars, and $10,000 in exchange for his daughter, could inspire other families to use social media sites to receive larger payments. Yeah. Facebook might want to get their priorities in order. Somehow I think the selling of human beings takes precedent over me calling Hillary Clinton a duty head. Or me saying, I don't know, Nancy Pelosi should jump in front of a train. I can't actually make it happen, man, just because I said it. I can't move objects with my brain. And I haven't said it, I'm just saying, okay? Don't shut down my account. What I'm saying is there are more horrible things happening on the Facebook platform. But their focus is anybody who says anything political or anybody says anything pro-black or against the cops. But you can sell people and you'll be fine, man. That guy got 500 cows. 500 cows, 3 cars, and $10,000. I don't know if that's a bargain or not. I know his shit should be illegal. Man, South Sudan got a lot of problems, man. A lot of problems. All right, Zuckerberg. Get your shit in order, buddy. Stop focusing on independent media, Zucks. Focus on these sick bastards selling people on your platform, man. Yeah, all that attention on us talking about, like, you know, politics and how we're going to warp minds, right? Meanwhile, you got human beings being sold on your platform for 2 weeks. All right, guys. Anyway, thank you for tuning into the show tonight. I appreciate you. We're getting closer and closer to Thanksgiving, which I will be spending with my family. Meanwhile, I'll be putting out lots of content, so I hope that you guys will find that. It's everywhere you are. So if you're on Facebook, you're on Twitter, I'm Real Tim Black. Find me also on Instagram as Tim Black at Night. That's right. If you see this show broadcasting, you will see this show broadcasting. You may get an alert because what we're doing now is we're restreaming our streams. So every couple of hours, new people will be able to find the show if they missed the show, especially tonight because I started late. I mean, like really late. And the thing is, this is how I create my content, so I have to do it live in order to get a copy of it, and then that way people can see it raw. It's not prepped. It's just me killing it. And then we clip it up in the clips. So anyway, guys, thank you for being here. I appreciate you. Remember, don't let nobody take your cornbread. Remember to stand up for your rights, and I'll see you again on the next one. Don't forget, I'm also on Roku, and I also have my own coffee. That's right, guys. I got my own coffee. My coffee is back. Here goes the clip about my coffee. Boop, 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 boop. Where the hell is my coffee? Our schools face major challenges, most of which are related to funding, overcrowding, poverty, lack of technology, supplies, books, and resources. Every pound of Tim Black coffee purchased through Cafe do Paraiso can help a local school. Every time we order Cafe do Paraiso, Tim Black coffee, we fight the bad stuff out there.